And good morning. That breaking news alert comes from Arlington this morning, where firefighters have been battling throughout the night and into the early morning to put out an apartment fire there. It's on for most of the people who were affected by this. Initially, there were 46 customers who had no power because of this hit transformer. They were able to narrow it down to 6 people now who are without power. And I just talked to some of the crews here, and they said the power should be on any moment now for those 6 people right in this immediate area who are still without power this morning. And it's a pretty dramatic morning for the neighbor that we talked to, saying that he heard screaming, and he also went on to describe just coming out here, seeing people in this parking lot where officers tell us that this young man and his father were stabbed. Well, the southbound lanes of Phillips Highway are still closed at this moment. We were told around 4:30, 4:45 that they would be open by now, but it looks like I'm going to show you right now. FHP is still there, still processing some things here on the scene. The northbound lanes, though, are still open. Almost 10 years after the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office tells a local man his wrongful arrest claim did not warrant an investigation, a jury decides he deserves nearly $400,000. The then 30-year-old Jermaine DuBose, he complained about being stopped for illegal window tinting back in 2004. He said the stop turned violent and left him with 2 broken vertebrae and felony charges. Now that a jury has sided with him, his attorneys are calling for more civilian oversight at the Sheriff's Office. Well, also this morning, families in Columbia County, they're starting to clean up and assess the damage from a small tornado that hit that area yesterday. So witnesses say that a hot air balloon had hit a power line, then caught fire before ascending into the air. Passengers reportedly were seen jumping from that balloon, just trying to get away from the flames. We have some kind of iffy weather right now, but we're thinking about all those people in the Panhandle, the weather that they've been having all week, that we've been having all week. Rebecca, I hope it's time for a turnaround. The giant shredder is coming back, but this time it's coming to 3 different locations on 3 different days. There's so much construction going on here around Channel 4. The free shredding is going to be offered at 3 Winn-Dixie stores. Well, whether it's twists, dreadlocks, and afro, or curls like mine, more and more women are wearing natural hairstyles, and one local group is holding an event to celebrate, embrace, and support the natural hair movement. So next weekend is the 3rd annual North Florida Simply Natural Hair Beauty and Wellness Expo, and here to tell us what's in store for the event is organizer Phyllis Allen and one of the event's hosts, Carla Jones. And so thank you, ladies, for being with us. I really appreciate it. So all of us have different hairstyles, but we are all natural. And for a lot of people who don't know, kind of just walk us through what is natural hair. And so now he's coming to the River City to speak to Duval County Public School students about how they can achieve their dreams and never give up. So joining us this morning is Eric Weinmeyer and Glenn Ellison, the Executive Director of the Parent Help Center. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Your journey is just so extraordinary. When did it all start? Just the most remarkable thing, climbing Mount Everest. How did you decide that that's something that you wanted to take on? Well, we are expecting to get an update at any moment now from Melissa Buheda with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Right now, the roads are still closed, and she has just arrived here to give us an update on exactly what's going on. So thank you so much for joining us.
At 11:22 p.m. this past night, police responded to Hogan Street, the federal courthouse, in reference to a very alert security guard observing a vehicle that was backed up into the loading dock at the federal courthouse. As he was very concerned, he contacted the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. We began to investigate. We called out our canines, our bomb squad, and we are glad to say at this time we are able to confirm that there is nothing of concern in that vehicle. And we are wrapping things up now, and as soon as we are able to open the roads, we are going to open them as soon as possible.
So what do we know about the vehicle? Who did it belong to? What was inside of it?
The contents of the vehicle aren't anything illegal or anything to cause concern. It appears it was someone that was just trying to find a parking spot while they went to work and picked a location that was very suspicious to everybody. The security guard did the right thing. Hats off to him, because in these types of situations, we need people to call police.
Any idea on when the roads might be reopened here this morning?
They're actually wrapping things up right now, so hopefully within the next 30 minutes, we'll have everything back open.
And is he not going to get any ticket or anything, or is it just kind of an all clear?
They're actually going through that process right now with the federal courthouse, so as it develops, we'll let you know.
Did you approach this any differently because it was a federal courthouse?
Whenever we have a suspicious type vehicle or package, it's something we approach very cautiously. We want to take every measure possible to make sure the officers are safe that are investigating, as well as the people in the area that may live in the area or work in the area. So whenever we have this type of situation, we do take it very seriously.
And what kind of car was it? Why was it alarming?
Alarming because the vehicle was backed up into the loading dock of the federal courthouse. It wasn't where someone normally would park. The security guard that worked there knew it was out of the ordinary. He thought it to be suspicious, and he called police.
We saw an officer investigating here on the Duval County side near Broad Street, shining his light out on foot. Was that just part of precaution? Was that part of the investigation?
Absolutely. Whenever we have something like this, and at the very beginning stages, we don't know what it is. We don't know what may be inside that vehicle. So we do precautionary canvasses just to make sure there's nothing else we need to be on the lookout for.
Have you talked to the driver? Did he tell you why he parked there or anything we know about the driver?
They're still trying to make contact and do that.
Thank you so much for joining us. Melissa Buheda this morning with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, waiting all morning for an update, and we've learned there was a suspicious vehicle parked into a loading dock at the federal courthouse. They have found out that there was nothing illegal in that vehicle, and the streets here in downtown Jacksonville are expected to be reopened very shortly. Of course, we'll gather more information and bring you more this morning, but for right now, we're reporting live in downtown Jacksonville. Kumasi, Aaron, Channel 4, the local station. Well, Rob, today was all about getting this, your bib for the race, and of course your gear, your Gate River Run t-shirt, and there were so many people out here doing just that today. I want to just show you, this is a Runners Expo, and there are plenty of people still headed up here, and not only do they get to pick up their race packets, they get to check out the vendors here. They're from all across the country, all across our area, and there are even some famous faces here. It's not quite the starting line, but for runners getting ready for the Gate River Run, the Runners Expo brought them one step closer. This is where many of the 20,000 runners in this year's race, including myself, picked up their race packets, and where thousands more will pick them up tomorrow. So the first thing you need to find out is what your bib number is. So if you don't know when you get in here, you have to go over here and check. What's your first name? Kumasi. With your number in hand, it's time to get your bib. Here's my number.
1-876 coming up.
Next, picking up your Gate River Run t-shirt.
What size?
I'm small.
Small.
So we have our t-shirts, we have our bibs, and this is kind of cool. On the back of the bib, there's a timing chip. It basically tracks how long it takes you to run the race. And you walk through here, and your name pops up on the screen to make sure that everything's working and you're officially registered.
It's very exciting to come and get your race shirt and your mug, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great race.
Brianne Toole is just one of the thousands of runners who then headed to the Runners Expo. The three-day event brings dozens of national and local vendors all in one place with the latest in running, health, and fitness. In addition to the vendors, runners also got a chance to meet running coach and best-selling author Hal Higdon. His latest book, 40943, tells the story of 75 people running in the Boston Marathon during the bombings last year in a single narrative.
I think I want them to meet Boston because in some respects the book is less about the terrorists and the victims and it's more about the runners in the race, how they experienced that day.
Of course, Higdon is always asked how to best prepare for the Gate River Run. He has two words: start slow.
The bands are going, the people are there, everybody's cheering, high-fiving, and there's that tendency to get out too fast, particularly if you seated yourself too far in the field. So you really have to relax until you get over the Main Street Bridge.
If you want to come out and pick up your packet tonight, you have about 20 more minutes. It closes at 6. Tomorrow, the hours are from 11 in the morning to 8. The expo is actually open on Saturday as well. It's just if you want to check out the vendors, though. If you want to pick up your race packet before the race on Saturday, that's something you'd have to elect to do when you registered online. Reporting live, Kumasi, Aaron, Channel 4, the local station. Kathy Zamuski may not have ever heard the sound of a gunshot at this range if she hadn't heard an unexpected sound at her home.
I was at home sleeping. My husband was away, and at 4 a.m. my security alarm is blaring. The security system folks had called in and said the breach is at the master bedroom window. I'm in the master bedroom, and so it was a little disconcerting, and then I realized in that moment, like, what is my plan? What am I going to do to protect myself?
Her first thought, a gun, but she didn't know where to start. She turned to Basics Range and Gun, where they told her about Ladies' Night. Revolvers and semi-automatics replace drinks and appetizers here as these ladies come together to not only have a good time, but to learn. Many of the ladies were just like me, not familiar or comfortable with guns. An instructor helps, teaching safety every step of the way, from loading the weapon, holding it, aiming, and firing.
I think it's a great idea. I think all ladies should be able to at least familiarize themselves a little bit with shooting a gun. I'm a mom with 3 kids, and I certainly want to know how to protect my family in the event I have to.
Julie Holland came with her mother. They both have been around firearms but wanted to try something new. Barbara Mecca came to make sure she's ready for her husband's upcoming retirement.
And I like to be able to protect myself because we're thinking of moving into a more rural area. And if we do, I don't want to be there by myself. I want to be protected.
For Elizabeth Marshall, Ladies' Night is relatively new, but learning how to shoot is not. She started when she lived in Gainesville.
We lived there when it was the Gainesville killing, and it was a very scary time for women and men on campus, and a lot of people were getting guns and not learning how to shoot them or use them.
She got a gun, one she still uses today, but she recently decided to get her concealed weapon permit, taking a class with other mothers at her daughter's school. Marshall is one of an increasing amount of women deciding to get their license. As of March 2014, 279,700 women have active concealed weapon or firearm licenses in Florida. Around the same time in 2004, there were only 48,316, which means there are almost 6 times as many women with licenses now than there were 10 years ago. Of all concealed weapon or firearm license holders in Florida, 22% are women, 78% men. In 2004, only 15% were women. It's a cultural shift, evident not only by looking at statistics, but also by just looking around ranges like this one.
It's scary at first, but then you get used to it.
Marshall brings her daughter Hannah along for target practice, and it's not only so she can learn how to use a gun, but so she won't be afraid if she comes across one.
We don't know what happens when they go off into other people's houses and what she might see going on. I'd like her to know safety and what is safe and what isn't, and when she should walk away and when she should call a parent.
While each woman's journey to this class is different, their desires are mostly the same: safety, preparedness, protection, and conquering their own fears.
It's kind of scary the first time. I thought so, but it's getting to be much easier every time I come. So I just suggest you come back often.
It's just a learning how to do something new.
It is.
To protect yourself and keep your family safe and feel safe at home.
In Orange Park, Kumasi, Channel 4, the local station.